Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with this week's design, and it's the cute little pop-out oval card. There's actually 3 versions of this one. We have matching box and envelope box as always. There's the cute little bunny for Happy Easter, which is also a wobble, and I'll be showing you how to create him once I've done the creation for Happy Mother's Day a little bit later on in the video. So that folds in and closes with a belly band. Okay, so that's what we're going to be creating. If you're wanting to put a sentiment on the back, if you use mat 1 and the oval of mat 1, then you can either stamp something on or print something on, draw something on the scan and cut for whatever you want. And then you can also use the outer oval shaped pieces if you're wanting to finish it off on the reverse. I actually haven't bothered on this one, but probably will to send it out. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through now the pieces that we need to create this design. We have the oval centre. There's actually an extra layer in here, and there's 3 options. They're in a separate file under the sentiments belonging to the design, and I've actually just done a little offset. So we have the base mat, the mat 1, which is the white. The mat 2 decor is the cutout, and the sentiment slots in between those 2. Okay, and I've actually offset. These are also included, all these spare letters. If you want to do an offset, you can do, and I have done on this. I didn't do on the bunny one. Okay, so the options are there for you. So what do we need for the design? This is the base card, which I've run round on the edge of the scoreboard. I have a hunky-dory scoreboard, and I run all the edges of all my cards and all my mats round on the right hand side. So all the way round on the outside. I've done the same on the mats on any straight edges, and I've also done the score lines as well. So the 2 centre lines of this are mountain folds, and the other 2 are valley folds, and that's how the card sits when it's completed. So we now have the other pieces, and you will need to cut what I've got here. There's 4 of the rectangular panels. 2 of them go on the inside. I'm just showing you where all the pieces go. The 2 little sort of shaped panels go on either side of the oval, and then the other 2 rectangular pieces, once you close the card, they're the outside of your card. Okay, so that's why you need double of those 2. So you've got a little bit of decoration on the outside of your card as well as on the inside. And then we have 2 tiny little pieces. You've got your oval there, which I've already said you've got the 3 layers. And if you are wanting to put the sentiment, it's the white piece, the plain white piece that you would put on the reverse side. And as I said, I've offset that lettering. You don't have to do it. I wanted it to step out. I wanted it to sit out. And because I've reversed the colours of the base of the mat 1 and the decor mat, that's why I've added the white to the text, because it was purple and it wasn't standing out against the purple of the base card. So I added the white in it to make it pop. So I've actually done quite a lot of the matting and layering already. And I'm just finishing off here with the final rectangle. Just speeded the video up a little bit here, because I'm sure you've all seen people gluing mats and layers together in the past. I think you can just about make out the beveled edge there, and it just makes matting and layering so much easier because you're lining up against that shaped edge, and you know when you get it sat, it will fit in beautifully. So I'm just making sure before I push down that I've got an even edge all the way around. Just flipping over to burnish the card down. And I'm going to start by adding the 2 rectangular pieces on the outside of the right side of the card. So I've actually flipped the card round, and I'm just adding the front panels. So these will be the front of your card with it closed up. And again, because I've got that beveled edge to work with, I know exactly where that matte layer needs to sit. And again, just burnishing down. I use just an ordinary PVA glue here. It's just ordinary card I'm using. I only use silicone glue if I'm gluing a metallic to a glitter or vice versa. So I'm just whizzing this through now until we've added all the other matte pieces. It actually takes a little while to cut out the decor mat, so I suggest you go have a cuppa once you've set it to cut. It takes longer to cut than it does to actually make the card up, but it's so pretty and it's so worth it. Just add in the 2 tiny little bits. I didn't bother with a decor layer here. I felt they were a little bit too small, so I've just added one of the little gems that I've added to the centre of the flowers. So again, making sure that your bottom layers run even across the bottom of your card and again across the top of your card. Now we're ready to add the central panel. I think you can see the 3 layers there. There's the white, the purple, which has got the sentiment, and then there's the purple glitter, which is the Decor 2 matte. I'm just adding glue just to the oval. Don't bother gluing obviously to the sentiment letters themselves, or your card won't swing open, it won't pop open. And again, there's a matte layer here, so you can position and make sure you've got it even all the way before you start to burnish anything down. So again, I've just flipped over. Obviously at this stage you would add, if you wanted to add the mattes on the back, then I would do it before you move any further. But that's basically the card completed. You can leave as is, or like I'm going to do now, I'm going to add some flowers as it's for Mother's Day, or if you use the other matte sentiment, Happy Birthday, the flowers would be just as pretty for that too. So I'm turning here to my Flowers and Flourishes collection. I'm using 3 sizes, and I just nestle the flowers inside of one another. I'm just adding some of the leaves that come with the collection as well. I've also created a little bow, and I'm just going to twist and just glue the bow and the ribbon tails into position. So there we have the completed card. Isn't it so pretty? So now we just need to deal with the belly band. So again, we've got matte and layer. I haven't used the base card colour. I've gone for matte 1 colour and matte 2 decor. So just close up the card, don't squash it. Place the belly band underneath, roughly in the centre, and just fold over gently. I'm not pushing in at the sides because you need a little bit of wiggle room, and I'm not squashing down either. But just gently, just press, just so you've got a slight crease. And I'm just going to add a pencil line just where that is meeting in the centre, just to the inside of where it meets, so I know where I'm gluing. And I always use hot glue when I'm fastening together a belly band. So I just press that together. Once it's just bitten, you'll find that it's like a flat bottom and a curved top, so it's like a dome shape. So it's not, if you try and flatten it down in the middle, you're going to sort of squash your flowers a bit. So leave it like I've done, keep it flat at the back and allow it to dome at the front so there's space for the flowers. There's our little oval that sits in the centre, and again I'm just decorating with another of the Flowers and Flourishes flowers and some of the leaves. So that's completed, and just gently close. Like I said, don't squash it, and you can just slide that belly band over the top. So that's our project completed. But I did say that I would show you how to create the little wobble bunny. So here I've got all the little pieces cut out. They're on their own separate file as well. So if you open this up, it's got all the pieces. You've just got to sort out which bits are which colour. But I'm sure you'll be able to identify them. I've actually lost one of the eye pieces. There should be 2 pieces of white, 2 pieces of pale blue and 2 pieces of black. I've lost one of the pale blue pieces. So he's only going to have one eye, I'm afraid. I didn't realise until I'd started the video, and I thought, oh well, just carry on. So I'm just popping them down towards the bottom of the eye. I use my finger, I wet my finger if I've got any tiny bits, so it holds onto your finger till you glue it and you can hold it and get it into position easier than any other way I've found. So there's our eye. Now obviously there should be 2 of these done, but I've only got the white and the black bit, so I don't want to put the black bit on without the blue, so I'll have to do it once the video is complete. Now we're going to add the mouth and the teeth. So there's a little pale pink piece and a white piece. The white piece is for the teeth, and that sits just to the top of the mouth. So there is a tiny gap, and it comes out at the sides and it comes out at the bottom, and that's just his mouth and the teeth. I'm going to start off by gluing the ears into place. So these are pale pink. And then I've actually done a little bit of shading with a slightly darker pink. What I've done, I've used a gel pen, my Stabilo gel pen. You could do some inking if you wanted on the shading on the whiskers and on the ears and on the mouth. But I don't do a lot of inking, I have to be honest. I'm not really a stamper. So I just use my gel pens and I sort of get the effect that I'm looking for. So start by now adding the mouth. And this sits just above the neck. So it's almost into the neck, but not quite. You see, it's sort of dropping down in towards the neck position. And then I'm going to add the whiskers, but I'm just going to do, before I actually add them, I should have done the colouring before. I'm just going to show you what I did with the piece that we've done. So I've just put a little bit of inking at the base of the ears and on the outsides of the whiskers and just the outside of the mouth. Like I said, you'll probably be loads better at this than I am, but it just gives the desired effect. So I'm just doing the outside of the mouth there and the base of the ears. It doesn't have to be really arty, it's just a final effect from when you're looking at it from a distance. And I'm going to do the same on the outside going in towards the whiskers. And we can add that into position. Can you see where the shape of the mouth, it sort of sits in and round that area? So we're ready to add the other piece. If you look, I wet my finger each time before I'm picking these tiny pieces up. I find it's easier than trying to pick them up any other way. You can do it with tweezers. I always end up dropping them. Okay, so now there's a little triangular piece for his nose. The point goes down the bottom. This does slightly overlap on the cheeks, on the little chubby cheeks. So it doesn't go in between, it does overlap on the outer corners. I think you can make it out there. And with just his eyes to add. Like I said, he's a one-eyed. He can't see out of his other eye, the poor little soul. You'll find these will sit in. Put one more or less into position and then put your other one in, and then you'll be able to just tweak to where you want them to actually sit. I've just put one in position and I'm going to move it over just a little bit. It's too close to the edge. So just squidge them into position. And there we go with our poor little one-eyed bunny. And all I did to add to this was I just added a little bow. I've got some rainbow organza ribbon, and I've just added a little double bow on the bottom. Now we've just to deal with the wobble mechanism. So there's two little circles that are part of the file, and I've got a piece of 1mm thick wire. I'm sure you've all got this. If you do flowers, you'll have it in your stash. This is approximately 4.5–5 inches long. It's not really critical. And what I'm going to do is wrap that round. You can either wrap it round a pencil, you can wrap it round a pokey tool, just something that's circular and roughly a dimension to create a little spring. So all I'm doing is just wrapping round the pencil until it's all there. And then make sure you just roll round and get the edges curving over as well. Don't leave them stuck out. So I think you can see it there on the pencil. We can just slide that off. So there's our little spring mechanism created. A lot cheaper than what you can buy these. A couple of pence is against 30–40 for one, or maybe even more than that. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of hot glue round the first coil and added it to the circle. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing. So you're adding hot glue to, if you call it around the circle, so you're going almost a full circle round the spring. A bit difficult to explain, but you'll get the idea when you do it yourself. So I'm just pushing that into position. And then just squidge it in a little bit between both fingers once the glue's finished. So you've got your spring mechanism there now completed. Make it out. And all we have to do is turn Bunny over, add hot glue to one of the circles, pop it just below the upper part of his body, below his neck, and then hot glue that to the position you want it on your oval. I've tried to steer clear of the text so it's not actually covering any of the text up. And there's our little wobble mechanism. Isn't that so cute? So with this little design, the pop-out oval, you have 3 cards in one. Happy Easter, Happy Mother's Day, or Happy Birthday. There's the sentiments, there's the letters you can add if you want to give yourself like a shadow version. So this is the one we created at the beginning of the video. There's the bunny version for Easter. For Mother's Day, I know Mother's Day is at different times of the year throughout the world, but in the UK it's in March, in Spain it's in June, I believe the States is similar. So it's one that you can use, or like I said, you can do it for a birthday card with a matching box, an envelope box. I hope you enjoy the design. Until the next time, bye for now.